Hey everyone, Colin once again, and welcome back to the next episode review for Reincarnated as a Sword, episode 4. This show is, once again, it's been a very fun show. I highly enjoy our two main characters, of Fran and Teacher, the Sword. Still a very, very fun, interesting show, for an isekai, especially for an isekai show. And picking up where I left off, because Fran, she is showing she's a very strong character. She's telling her teacher that she never wants to back down. She still wants to continue fighting all these goblins, so she doesn't want to show any weakness, so she still wants to be strong and push her limits, even though the teacher said, we should just retreat and recover, but she says, no, I want to keep on going because I want to be strong and just go as far as I can do it, And she does. She goes so far, exhausting herself that she also all these dead. She's on staying a whole different. She's staying a whole freaking pile of dead goblin bodies. That's how badass she was. And those other adventurers from before, they were so amazed that she did all this, and so she goes back to Gregarious, the blacksmith, and say, what happened to her, and wants to recover, fix her equipment, right? And there's a point where which was quite funny that when it comes to, it's gory though, but it's not over the top gore. Like when it was interesting how when she cuts into the goblins, cutting them in half or slicing them, whatever, it shows the gore though, but it's not exactly how the typical how when someone gets sliced, like when a human gets sliced or whatever, It's just how the interesting way they have when she cuts into especially the goblins. How the way they get cut, it's just very interesting. I don't know how I can explain it though, but it's just a very interesting way of gore is shown in this. It's not over the top though. You see stuff when they get cut though, but it's okay, it's interesting. And when she recovers, and plus it was interesting how she gets now the teacher has a new sheath now, and he's so comfortable and relaxed in this. He's so happy, and there's even a mechanism at the bottom of the tip of the sheath, right, where he can push it, and the thing just opens up on its own, so he can do it on his own without having Fran do it for him, right? And that was he's so happy and okay, I'm liking this, interesting devices, for him. And then when it was back at the inn, right, where she's exhausted too, and she's taken a lot in, and even to the point where when she goes back out slaying more though, she meets with other people, other adventurers. They find this cave where which turns out it's not a cave, it's actually a dungeon where there's a whole bunch of these swarms of goblins are in, which lies where the Goblin King and a Queen and even a dungeon master, And she's learning all this stuff, and she has leveled up so much, to level 12, I say. And all this, she's just been so mentally and physically exhausted. To the point where she wants to take a bath, and the teacher's face, because she wants to clean him too, right, in the bath, and he's all embarrassed of seeing, he wasn't thinking this pervertedly because being in the bath naked with Fran being naked in the bath with him, he wasn't thinking that he wasn't being pervertedly like that though. He was just embarrassed, being doing that, because since he's a sword now, no longer a human, right? But he was just flat out embarrassed, for. Which is funny because, like I said, I like I mentioned in the last video, he's become a father figure for Fran now, and I see this as more like a father-daughter relationship, father figure, daughter figure relationship. And I've been really enjoying that, And, he's been, embarrassed, seeing her naked like that because thinking that she's a cat. Oh, the cats hate baths, right? But, no, she likes baths. And she's been cleaning him, and even now, the receptionist at the guild place, it's hey, you can't bring your weapons here. You can't clean weapons in here, And she gets to this explanation where which do a good job of explaining, like all these gods and goddesses, and this whole world was a form, and which is another very interesting way how these stories have been told about these gods and goddesses, like this evil god and all the like master all the dungeons and stuff like that, and even when he's talking to the guild master, the elf from the other past couple episodes, the guild master, and explaining how we get all these high adventurers, right? He's making even Fran an F rank now, like another step up in her ranks, and even to I forgot the guy who tested her for the guild adventurer license, whatever. He's there too, and she's like, "What? Seriously?" Because they need all the strong people they can get, to fight this dungeon. So even he was impressed, that's making her an F rank. And like she's just so exhausted taking all this stuff. It's like there's a point where Nell was explaining all this stuff to her. Her mind just like blew. Her mind just got short fused. We saw like a puff of smoke coming from her head because her mind just got so overwhelmed. She just blew her brain. Her brain it blew a fuse. It came to the time where everyone there is gathered outside this dungeon. Now all the goblins have come out, they're starting killing people, and now everyone's fighting. Even with Fran, she wants to go in there alone, so she's taking some goblins out, and then she learns she does this mid-air technique. She jumps in mid-air to go past everyone who's blocking her way, and she does a slash of the sword of goblins. Then she uses this fire magic, even an advanced power fire magic, flare attack, and just blows all these goblins to smithereens, and she starts heading in there alone. And then it ends with this one goblin mage, I think it was, saying this is like this goblin empire, not empire, emperor, this goblin emperor, showing the next big threat that Fran's gonna end up facing, So yeah, episode 4 is already, because now we're a quarter of the way there now, done, and Fran and teacher, like I said, it's a father-daughter relationship that I just been enjoying, Like I said, he's become more of a father figure to her, helping her become strong, and even to the point where in the beginning he sees her that she is not this scared kitten anymore. She's now become basically a far matured kid. I say kitten because she looked like a scared kitten which is the way usually we thought of, but now she's become this badass kid. Just so strong, and she's so determined to become strong. Like I said, failed where her parents. She doesn't want to fail like her parents did, especially that. This girl has been through the ringer most of her life. She lost her parents. She's been enslaved, beaten, and let alone discriminated by other species. Saying that her species is the lowest of the low. And I've really enjoyed her that she's become this it's basically not a scared little kid, but a very strong, badass kid. And even teacher says she has become really strong. She's not a scared little kitten anymore. And I've really enjoyed the chemistry the two have with each other, especially also with like how with teacher, he's just embarrassed, because he wasn't doing that, saying that he was embarrassed being pervertedly, because he's just like taking a bath, being cleaned by seeing Fran naked and all that stuff. He wasn't doing it as a being a pervert though, but he was just like straight up embarrassed. And then when he was in full embarrassment with his face, when that nail came in, it's like, oh, a sword's, I could actually call it this one, a sword's embarrassment. So, and now her just trying to determine to take all those goblins all alone in that dungeon now. And especially when also with the now sword also teacher got his new sheath open on its own. That was nice, cool looking. And learning all the things about the gods and the goddesses and all that stuff about this world, how it became to be, and how the goblins, tapping on how the goblins were created and all that. That was interesting. all this info, I find very interesting. That's why this show has been a very interesting show for me to watch, and yet very fun at the same time. And our two characters, the teacher and Fran, I've enjoyed so much. Like it's like a father-daughter relationship. So yeah. So episode 4 has been a very fun episode, and the show itself has been very fun, interesting isekai for me. So yeah, another good thumbs up for this show. Episode, and for this episode as well. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode review for Spy Family. That's gonna be later on, and then more episode Halloween movie reviews for this month. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Later.